Check out these inspiring words from a federal courtroom this week. Truth still matters. That's what a prosecutor from Trump's DOJ said in the closing arguments of Roger Stone's trial. Michael Mirando said, quote, "I know we live in a world with Twitter, tweets, social media, where you can find any political view you want. However, in our institutions of self-government, courts of law or committee hearings, where people under oath have to testify, truth still matters." Truth still matters. And the jury agreed and ended up convicting Trump's longtime political advisor on 7 counts. Now, this prosecutor is just another one of those dedicated public servants that have been in the news this week. Of course, in the news in the impeachment hearings. 3 of them, 3 career government officials testified in the Trump impeachment inquiry, many more coming up in the days ahead. And right now there are competing narratives about impeachment. Dueling echo chambers, Axios says. Divergent worlds, the Washington Post says. But let's be clear about one thing. The narratives are not equally true, not equally valid. There are facts over here, like transcripts, and then there are some elaborate fictions. One narrative is grounded in witnesses, testimony under oath, transcripts, receipts, all of it. The other narrative is propped up by conspiracy theories and grievances and a desperate desire to support President Trump 1,000% no matter what. The witnesses have been debunking some of these fictions, but to little avail. CNN's Daniel Dale started making a list and came up with 45 ways that Trump has been dishonest about Ukraine and impeachment. 45 different ways. That's remarkable. But watch out for the false equivalencies. These are not equally valid narratives that are out there. Yes, there are alternative universes of information. Yes, there are these competing narratives, but they are not equally true. Hey, don't take it from me. Take it from that DOJ prosecutor. Truth still matters. So let's talk more about the truth and why it matters and what's been happening in the impeachment inquiry coverage. We have an incredible panel here in New York with me to talk about right-wing media's reaction and so much more. Nicole Hemmer, Dan Rather, Abigail Tracy, all here with me. And I've got to start with you, Dan, because you are our senior correspondent today. You've been watching history along with the rest of us. Do you feel that anything changed after these first 2 days of televised hearings?
I think one thing has changed. It's becoming increasingly apparent that truth is closing in. Truth does matter. And there's been this feeling for a long time that, well, the White House with this alternate narrative, a false narrative, and with its allies in prime time on Fox, was at least in a standoff with truth. I think we've seen over the last few days, as I say, truth is beginning to close in. Facts are beginning to matter. The difference between facts and the truth, people under oath, and the false narratives have been put out in way of defense, is beginning to tell. Now, whether it's making a deep enough impression on public opinion to convince enough in the Republican Party in power to begin to say to themselves, look, we have to fall in behind the truth, I have some doubts, which is to say the Republican Party as a whole, and particularly members of the Senate and the House and the Republican Party, are standing with the president. They're complicit in what he's doing. And as long as they are, then this false narrative in which it's very easy to give false equivalence to the false narrative may yet reassert itself. But I come back to, for the first time, I've had the feeling that truth is closing in, facts are closing in. There's still a lot we don't know. I think in the succeeding, say, 2 to 3 weeks before Christmas, it's going to be decided whether there's a breakthrough with what we don't know yet that swings public opinion with enough pressure on enough Republicans to make this really interesting in the Senate, or whether it's a done deal, the House passes impeachment, Mitch McConnell and company kills it in the Senate very quickly, and we move on.
And let's see if we can come back to McConnell.